Biddy Early and the Butter. If Biddy Early came into a house and the people churning, she would take the butter from them. One time there was an old woman out in Blair. She had the finest brawn of cows you could lay eyes on, and during 1 week not a bit of butter would come in the churn if she was churning till morning. Nothing but froth and an awful smell out of it. There was a calf, after dying in the woman's neighbors. Biddy Early had the dead calf dug up and buried in the woman's land. While the dead calf was in the land, she couldn't get any bit of butter. She told the priest about Biddy Early, and he hunted her out of the place. From that time, Biddy Early lived near Freckle, and before that she lived near Lochgrania.
But who was Biddy Early, and why do we still talk about her today? Bridget Ellen Early was born in 1798 into a farming family. We don't know a lot about her early years, apart from the fact that her mother taught her all she knew about plants, herbs, and cures. Some scholars argue that she kept her mother's maiden name to continue the tradition and honor her. When Biddy was 16, both her parents died. Eventually, she started to work as a domestic servant. She gained a reputation as herbalist, mixing cures and brewing potions, both for humans and animals. People would come from all over Ireland to ask for her advice. She also became known for foretelling the future out of a little blue bottle. Biddy rarely accepted money as payment for helping somebody, but she gladly welcomed food and protein. Many people would come over to her cottage overlooking Kilbarron Lake in Feakle, County Clare in the evenings, leading to conflicts with the Catholic Church, landlords and the police. She never guaranteed a cure and sometimes even refused to see people when she believed that they were destined to die. In 1865, Biddy was accused of witchcraft and had to go to court in Ennis. However, all charges were dropped and she was not convicted in the end. It is said that she was married at least 4 times and outlived all her husbands, even the last one whom she married in her 70s while he was in his 30s. Eventually, she died on 22nd of April in 1876.
Memorates, like the narratives on Biddy Early, originally individually told and remembered, gradually become collectively held legends if they are retold and persist over time. Folklore collectors were among the most important agents in the transformation from local communicative to national collective memory. It is likely that they were influenced in their form and content over the course of time. The most important contributor on Biddy Early's transformation from a wise woman of relatively local report to a folklore figure was the folklorist Lady Augusta Gregory. Influenced by romantic nationalism over Irish literature and art, she began to collect material on vernacular narratives. It was a rich harvest of the old mythological cycles, legends, and fairy lore. She was to a good degree responsible for the transformation of Biddy Early in recording local reports of her activities, publishing them, and no less significantly, mythologizing Biddy herself. The narratives on Biddy Early contributed to a project of enchantment that transformed relatively local vernacular narratives into a national and international romantic image of a vanishing Gaelic Ireland. Vernacular reports of her skills and powers and her blue bottle grew into local and regional stories, which were transformed into an international legend by Lady Gregory, after which Biddy Early gradually became a creature of global fantasy used by New Age movements.
Biddy is not only still present in today's Irish folklore studies, but her life is presented in both a movie and a play. She is namesake to various pubs all over the world, as well as a sort of cannabis. 20 years after the death of Biddy Early, Lady Gregory went to visit Feakle, where Biddy had lived. She said that Biddy's fame would grow over time and that story about her would still be told after many years. It is safe to say that she was right.
For us as foreign students, the most important part was to find out who Biddy Early actually was, because we never heard of her before. Therefore, we took a look at all the material. Pretty fast, we actually decided to go to the local study center of the County Clare Library in Ennis, because they've got a lot of information on Biddy Early, because she is from Clare. And in general, they've got lots of information about folklore figures and folklore in general. And I'd recommend to go there for further projects, further research, because they're really helpful. They're really happy if there's somebody interested in their collection, and they really like to support people with their projects. So for further projects, definitely go there.
As Christopher mentioned, there's a lot of information on Biddy Early, so we had to pick 2 points to focus on. And for us personally, it was Biddy Early as a person and her biography, which is what I looked at, and then the stories and folklore surrounding her, which is what Christopher did. So I can say for me personally, the biggest challenge was to find out the truth of Biddy Early, because there are a lot of people who tell different stories or different information on what happened in her life and what didn't happen. So I had to look at different sources and try to find the right information that was academically credible. But other than that, we had fun researching on Biddy Early.